Rahul, people are joining in.
Hello?
People are joining in. Guys, Sandeep here from Way to Automation. Let's wait for like a couple of more minutes for the people to join in. Just meanwhile, I'll post a question. Let me know if is anyone from the pure manual testing background? So
Yes,
Ramek?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. We are for automation tests. Yes.
Okay. So how many of you worked on Selenium?
I don't have more experience in with Selenium, but I know about that.
Okay. Okay, let's wait for a couple of more minutes. Just wanted to check. And then I'll give my introduction, then we'll go ahead with the Cypress batch introduction. So is there anyone out from outside India, or like is everyone from India only? Okay. Okay, let's go with quick intro. Meanwhile, waiting for the other people. Does anyone wants to give a quick intro of yourself? Or like what are you expecting from the Cypress batch?
So hi, this is Astos this side,
Yeah,
and
Ashutosh.
yeah, I have a 10 years of experience, a mixed experience of manual and automation.
Okay.
And in my company now we are switching from Selenium to Cypress, so that's why I want to join this class.
Okay, Santosh. Okay, Ashutosh. Thanks for the update. Anyone else? Quick intro. One more person. And you can also let me know what are you expecting from the Cypress batch. Speak out, guys.
Hi, this is
I'm
Dave.
Vaishnavya.
Sorry, one person. Okay, Vaishnavya, you can go ahead.
I'm Vaishnavya. I have 8 years of experience. So in both the manual and automation. Currently, we are working on TestIM frameworks, and we are exploring Cypress. So that's why I'm interested in this course.
Okay.
And I'm from Texas, USA.
Okay. Okay, one last person. Can quickly go ahead and you can let me know what you're expecting from the Cypress automation batch or like from this course. One last. Thought of like waiting for 5 minutes and start. Okay, guys. If no one, I'll start. Hi guys, this is Sandeep. I have close to 13 years of experience. I was a developer and then I moved to pen testing and currently working with a startup on both pen testing and automation testing. I also look into some product requirements also, kind of a BA plus QA role along with automation. So I was working from last 7 to 8 years on the automation. I started with Selenium, then I worked on Cypress, Playwright, and a few other automation tools like Appium and API automation, and like whatever the automation requirements, we used to jump into it and then work for a client. So I'm currently working with a startup, and I have completed like two batches for Cypress here in the way with the Veto automation, and this will be the third batch. So like we got some questions saying that most of the times we are covering only the basics of Cypress. So this time we are planning to cover like few advanced features like CI/CD integrations and API integrations. Like if anyone have a specific requirement, maybe we'll support that as well if we get time. That's brief about myself. Let me quickly share my screen and let me know if that is visible for you all. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, Sandeep.
Okay, Cypress demo and second jump. Okay. Okay, so this being a demo, I'll try to accommodate as many questions that you guys asked for. And I always start with a question instead of like going to the theory. Okay, so I heard from the people saying like people are looking at to Cypress or Playwright. Like these two are a bit of like more popular tools in for the web automation now. So I heard from like a couple of guys from the introduction, they are looking for the Cypress. So any reasons that you got from your team leads or like the teammates why they are looking for Cypress now?
It's more stable, like in Selenium is not stable. When we write the framework and we run, we found a failure. But in Selenium, if we created an automation framework, it is more stable.
You mean to say Cypress is more stable?
Right.
Okay.
And we can also work like with the when we hit any button, we can also fetch the API behind that call, but that is not possible in Selenium.
Okay, easy API integration.
Yes.
Okay. What next?
So I think it is better feasible for Angular applications and React.js applications, which we directly interact with JavaScript.
Compatibility with the JS apps. Okay. What next? Anyone else? So just give it a try. It could be right or wrong. So no one will judge you with your answers. That's it. That's it. You guys know from about the Cypress.
It's a open source, right?
Okay. Open source.
And with limited, like there are some features which are paid also. So, yeah.
Open source with the few paid features.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? What else? Like say you tried, like you wanted to attend the Cypress demo. Like did you do any background of like Cypress? Did you read about the Cypress did you read about Cypress or some documentation, like or you heard from the people why Cypress and all? That's it. Only 4 points till now.
It's popular.
Okay.
New one.
It's popular and okay, I don't say it's new, but it's very
Yeah.
old tool now. Okay, popular in the market.
rather the Selenium, we have very least libraries here based in terms of integration.
Okay. Most features
Means
are
mostly
built in.
pre-builds are exactly. Means
Built
rather than,
in.
yeah, right.
Most features are built in. Okay. What else?
You might get a better dashboard actually. You don't need to create like in a Selenium.
Okay, Cypress dashboard, which is paid. Okay. What else?
Execution would be faster actually because you might not it would be run directly over the DOM actually as I know that Selenium.
Exactly. Faster
Selenium.
execution.
Yeah, exactly. Because a reason behind that JavaScript actually, when we compare the architecture of the Selenium and architecture of the Cypress actually, so it's inbuilt actually within the browser rather than the Selenium. Selenium has to interact actually because Selenium APIs has to
With
interact in a different language.
Yep, Selenium has to talk to a third-party library to interact with the browser.
Exactly, it has to
But
communication it is established.
Cypress, yeah, Cypress directly, like Cypress will be sitting on the browser while execution.
We don't need to
Okay.
manage the weights.
We don't need to manage.
Weights, explicit weights and
Okay.
Yeah.
No explicit weights. Okay. What else?
It works in the real time.
Throttling is possible with Cypress. Network control.
Throttling, network control. Okay. Can you please elaborate? Network control.
We can manage the network traffic with Cypress using the Cypress. It allows us to control any network request from test.
Okay. Do you have an example for that?
In advantages, I have identified that.
Okay. So basically we can write stubs and we can control the network request. Like say we can manipulate the API request, which is going to
Mocking means
mocking and stubs.
Instead of using the mock wire, it provides the inbuilt.
Yep. So Cypress supports, you can manipulate the API responses from the server and you can render, basically you can mock the API
We don't
request.
need to explicitly add the wire mocks for this.
Yep.
The framework itself has the capability.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Okay. Okay. Anyone else want to contribute or like speak about why Cypress?
That we can use the end-to-end testing using this real time.
E2E testing, okay. Like it's not specific to the Cypress, but every tool supports E2E testing. Yeah.
But sometimes suppose that we are open the browser and the real time page is open, that we are fixing any page, any issues, so that we can directly check there. No need to rerun that script.
Okay. So automatically detect code changes and execute it on the say Cypress Studio or whatever it is, Cypress IDE.
I think that we can call that real time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what. So the real time code changes execution.
Is it real time means if I'm not wrong actually, is it really how like in Java if I'm writing something, so I have to execute from very starting to end. Are we talking about in between we can start?
No, we cannot start in between. You have to run from the beginning. But basically, like when you're writing something on the Cypress code, so you don't need to go to the Cypress and run it. So if you're changing something on the code, Cypress automatically have a capability to run it on the browser.
Okay.
Like say, a simple example is like you made a mistake on a element identifier and you went to the code, updated the identifier, and Cypress will identify the changes and it will start executing it on the browser. So basically that is something called like watching for the file changes. It continuously watch for file changes.
It means it's just like a property to just check the again and keep the things pass actually or might be green.
Yeah, exactly like say Assume that like you made a simple mistake while writing a ID of an element. So instead of giving like say username, you just give name. You made a simple mistake, like say username, you did not give it proper, like hash username, you just gave it username. When you go to the code and update hash in front of it, it automatically identify the file changes and run it to just make sure that if there are any file changes on the code while executing, it will automatically check for it and run it. Yeah, we'll look about it like little deeper when we start the session. Anything else?
Experimental studio like a record of playback.
Yeah, record and playback. Okay, so and there is something like timeline, Cypress timeline of the execution. Timeline is like say when you're running something, at each point of your execution, you can just go there and see what happened at particular incident, a particular point in time of your Cypress code. So we
But
yeah.
this particular feature, I think it comes under the dashboard only, right?
No, it will come on the Cypress ID as well. So the
Okay.
dashboard is completely different, sir. So the dashboard is more about the Cypress results.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Timeline
this
means
is
each means like up to millisecond, like how we generate the report actually in test engine or something. Like we have to explicitly we have to write it. Here it will just automatically it will do.
so instead of me saying it as milliseconds, say assume like there are like 10 lines of script you have on your test automation. So you can check it every line what was happened on the browser execution. Like say you wrote login and you said like navigate to a particular page, add some details on say fill up some form and submit it, and then it will go to another response page. So each line of code you can see what was happened on the browser. So that is called like say timeline.
Thanks.
Okay, so anything else that you guys heard about Cypress? We can say like this is the most important thing, quick ROI of the tool or automation. Quick ROI from the tool. So if you heard about like automation sometime earlier, maybe 2-3 years back or 4 years back. So when you talk about Selenium, when it was like very popular compared with the other tools, so it will take some time to write an automation frameworks. And you have to write your own reporting tools, and you have to integrate it with say you need to download the drivers, and you need to do like spend some time to create a framework for the Selenium. But when you look into the Playwright or Cypress, the framework is like handy, it's ready-made. The moment you install the tool, like Cypress or Playwright, you will have the skeleton of the framework ready. So only the thing that you have to write is like you need to decide like what to automate, start writing it, and you need to like look into the style of writing the code. It could be like people call it as automation, page object model, or some other page factory model, or anything. You just need to decide on like how to write the code. Most of the skeleton of the framework is ready the moment you install the Cypress or Playwright. So you can get very quick ROI on your automation.
So you mean to say like we cannot no need to use of Maven, Gradle, the build management tools, is it in Cypress?
Sir, like if you haven't read about the Cypress, Cypress supports only the Node.js languages. It could be TypeScript or JavaScript. It won't support any other. So if you're going with Cypress, whether you have to work with the JavaScript or you can work with the TypeScript. So these are only two, like the only Node.js is supported by the Cypress, no other languages, no Ruby, no Python, no Java.
Sure.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is with the quick ROI is like you always have the ready-made framework with the Cypress. And compared to Selenium, it is much faster in terms of the execution. So there are like few drawbacks. We'll discuss about the trade-offs or drawbacks in the end. Okay, any other questions or any other requirement that you specifically look when you start with the automation? So this is about Cypress. Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah, Sandeep, one thing I want to ask, like, how in depth we need to know the JavaScript actually here?
You don't need to really know the in-depth of JavaScript. If you know how to write the functions and classes, that's more enough. Like if you know about like how to declare the variables, how to declare the classes, and how to write the functions and all, that's more than enough to start with the Cypress. So we'll try to cover one session on the JavaScript or like one weekend. So we'll start with JavaScript first, and then we'll go ahead with the Cypress. So the first one class will be on the JavaScript, like first weekend. So the first weekend will be on the JavaScript, and then we'll go to the Cypress. So this time, like we are planning not to cover about XPaths and all, not in depth of XPaths. So we'll provide some material to read about XPaths and other element locators. And we'll try to cover more, focus more on only the Cypress. And if we get time, we'll look about Cucumber integrations. Okay.
So which framework we are planning to follow over here, POM or Cucumber?
No, we'll go with the POM. Cucumber, if we get time, maybe I'll share some sample framework on the Cucumber. So the problem with Cucumber is like you have to maintain another layer of maintenance. Another layer of maintenance will be adding in when you look at the Cucumber. So you have to maintain the BDD, and then you will be looking at the Cypress. So Cucumber will be kind of a overhead. It has its own advantages, but like when it comes to the Cypress, like I always feel like Cucumber is a bit overhead. So most of the time, like we'll try to automate using only the Cypress, the built-in Mocha frameworks.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have one question, like, can we automate API automation as well with Cypress? Can we do it?
We can call the APIs from the Cypress. You can intercept the API request and you can execute the API request from the Cypress. Okay. And Cypress doesn't support mobile. So remember that that's one of the trade-off. It doesn't support the mobile, and it has support only for the the Node.js family, JavaScript and TypeScript. It won't support any other languages. Okay.
Is it possible to automate accessibility testing using Cypress?
Accessibility, we can. So what exactly are you looking at the accessibility?
The like Axe Dev tool is there, right? It's a Chrome plugin like that.
Yeah.
When I
Cypress
researched
has.
on it, that is.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry to stop you. Yeah.
Oh, no, no problem. There is one, I saw one package like Axe Core with Cypress. So, how much we can add that in our, like in the end-to-end testing, is it possible to add that also?
Okay. So I'll note it down. Cover accessibility testing. I cannot guarantee you, but like I'll try to cover like if I can come up with any scenario with accessibility. Axe support, Cypress supports Axe, which is for the accessibility testing.
Okay.
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 So
Sure. Thank you.
I'll try to cover it, but I cannot assure you that I'll take it the accessibility from the day one.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay. Yep. So any other questions that you have in your mind or any other requirements that you're, yeah.
Hey Sandeep, so it's like Cypress has the inbuilt feature for API testing. So in this course, Do we have the scope for API automation
Yes.
also?
Yes, API is covered.
Okay, okay, great, thank you.
Okay. Someone else
We
was
will
asking.
go, that I have a question. We will go with any real-time projects for API and web, or only any simple
We'll
demo?
go with the real time only, sir. So we will be
Real-time.
writing. So I'll take up a sample application and we'll be automating on that from the beginning. So I'll not give you the code and I don't ask you to execute. So
Okay.
we'll be. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Related to the automation, that I have a question. In my projects, there is some option kind of like where we can upload the selfie, and where we can perform any automation for this our Aadhaar OKYC. Can we perform these two, uploading selfie and OKYC?
KYC, I'm not really
Like,
sure of.
okay.
KYC and
And
selfie. I need to look at that, sir. Yeah, I need to look at. I never tried about like taking a selfie because controlling camera controls. I did not try.
yeah, actually,
I'll.
that there is, we are using third party redirect to the OKYC. For OKYC, where we put my Aadhaar number and some OTP verification. So at that time that we are redirected to the, can we mock them?
I guess there must be
OTP.
some JS function to execute that type of activity. We can check that in next class.
Okay, nothing worry.
I'll look into it, sir. Let's not discuss more
Oh,
about
definitely.
that. I'll look
Yeah.
into it like OTP and OKYC.
Yes, okay. For selfie also.
Yeah, that's what I noted it down.
For
Okay.
OTP validation, I have detail. I will share the document for that.
Okay, thanks
No
for
worries.
that. Yeah.
Google Authenticator and OTP, MOTP, TOTP. I have document for that.
Okay, using Cypress?
I implemented it through Playwright.
Okay, then the Cypress will support the same library.
Yeah.
Okay, I never looked into the OTP library support. I'll look into it. Okay. Anything else that you guys have a specific requirements on the Cypress course?
Sandeep, I have a question. Like when we go for the Selenium interview, in the interview, the portion of Java is quite much. So if we go for the Cypress interview, is it same or the
No, sir,
more
that's
focus
what I
on?
told. Yeah.
Yes.
So you don't need to learn the complete JavaScript to write a Cypress automation.
Okay.
But it all depends on the interviewer, whether he's looking at more JavaScript, then we can't say anything. But like to automate script on the Cypress, you don't need to know much about, you don't need to know in depth of the JavaScript.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And I have one more question. So like, what is the exact difference between Cypress and Playwright? Like, are they both are same? Because
I'll cover that, sir.
yeah, because I know Selenium and BDD and complete thing, but I'm new to the Cypress and Playwright actually.
Playwright and Cypress. I'll cover that. Okay. Because if you start discussing about the differences or like comparison between Cypress and Playwright, it'll take a lot of time. We need to go with feature by feature. So I'll cover that in the next session. Okay. Any other requirements that you are looking for from the course?
Handling the drag and drop in the Blazor UI, it's difficult to drag and drop the Blazor.
Drag and drop of Blazor UI. So normal drag and drop is supported in the Cypress.
Yeah.
Blazor UI, I'm not really sure.
It's
Okay.
it's difficult to drag one place to another.
Okay, so the drag and drop is supported in Cypress, sir. Blazor UI, maybe if you can show me how it look like, I can see if I can help you on that.
Sandeep,
Okay.
I have one question. Are we going to cover end-to-end and component testing both? And if yes, then which framework we will use?
So I'll be covering the end-to-end testing, not the component testing, and I'll mostly use the page object pattern. Like not exactly the page object, it will be somewhat similar to the page object.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is that it, or you have any other?
One more thing, actually, the one-time login, like in the Playwright, we have the skip login.
Session.
Yes,
Session is
session
supported,
or
sir.
yeah, session. You can do session. And
Yeah,
the
session is supported. I'll show
okay.
you how to use the session in Cypress.
And
Yeah.
credential configure in env or
I'll
the commands
I'll
like
look.
that.
I'll share that, sir. Like maybe the features I'll share it. But apart from that, that normal automation requirements, if you have any specific that you are looking at the codes, just let me know.
Thanks.
The regular features that we'll discuss for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi,
So
Nizam here. Sorry, I joined a bit late. Maybe it's covered. I just have a question. Whether Cypress is only for browser-based testing, or it can be helping for the backend testing as well?
Cypress supports web applications. It could be the API or UI. Is that
Okay.
your
And
question?
also front-end component testing.
Yeah, web and API both.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So any last question?
Here we are using ID or data test ID or data CY, anything.
Sir, that will look
Okay.
generally
Sorry,
we'll be
okay.
using it only the
Right.
data test IDs.
Okay.
If it is not there, we'll try to force the developers to write the data test IDs.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Sandeep, timing will be same for the classes?
No, it will be 8 a.m. in the morning IST, 8 a.m. IST.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know which time zone are you into, but like this is a demo, so we scheduled it 8:30. I mean 8 p.m. General classes will be 8 or 8:30 a.m. I think.
Okay.
It will be morning IST times.
Okay.
Okay. If no questions, I'll go ahead. Okay. So, like as part of the demo, whatever I wanted to share, like we discussed most about the features of Cypress. So, as someone told, it's more stable than Selenium in terms of framework stability. And the maintainability of the Cypress framework is much easier than Selenium. So you'll be end up writing very less number of lines of code when you compare with like orange to apples, like Selenium to Cypress. So you'll end up writing like 75% less code in Cypress than Selenium. And you don't need to maintain the framework. That's another advantage with the Cypress. So Cypress, like most of the framework is built in. So the moment you install the Cypress, like you'll get the default folder structures, and you can just simply go ahead and start using those. And API integration is much easier in Cypress compared to Selenium. You don't need to use any third-party libraries for the API testing. So you can just use the Cypress itself to automate if you have any APIs in between to validate. And apart from the API, someone said like you can intercept the network calls. So if you are expecting any API response from the Cypress, I mean the server that has to be rendered on the web page, you can intercept the network calls and you can see the response of it. And also not only for the intercepting the network request, you can mock the network request. Like say if the feature is not completely implemented from the dev end and you started writing the automation for it. So you can mock the network request and then you can render the same on the web page. Assume like say you are in a page, you have a list of users that has to be that people are using the, so like you are an administrator and you can register for a user on the website. And if you go to the list user page, you're expecting like say 5-6 user has to be displayed. And assume that like the implementation of that particular feature is not ready, but you want to write an automation. So assume that like there is a API call like /users, which will be returning the complete users responses. If that API is not ready, returning the empty list, you can just mock the particular request and list out the users on the web page. So if you have any idea about the mocking, that's how it generally works. And that you can control, I mean, you have a full control on the mocking in Cypress. Okay. So the compatibility with JavaScript applications, it's not only the advantage with the Cypress, like most of the web applications are compatible with most of the automation tools compatible with the JS apps. The advantage with the Cypress is as we discussed a bit early, so it doesn't use any third-party tool to talk to the browser. So it will directly sit on the browser and start executing the code. So the execution is much faster compared to Selenium. The Cypress is much faster. And if you compare between the Playwright and Cypress, few says like Playwright is much faster than Cypress, but I never I never recorded any script in Playwright and Cypress just to check the speed. But compared to Selenium, Playwright and Cypress are much faster. And talking to the fourth point, like it's a open source and it has few paid features, which is like the dashboard. Dashboard is paid in Cypress. And apart from that, most of the features are like open source. And it's easy to integrate with Circle CI and GitHub Actions. And maybe if you're using the Jenkins, it's easier. And even you can like Docker containers are available with the Cypress. So if you want to Dockerize the automation, you can do that. And like take with any CI/CD, the latest ones. So you have easy integrations with the Cypress. And so the JavaScript automation tools are becoming a bit popular compared to the traditional Java, Ruby, or Python or based automations because of the speed, execution speed, and you can parallelize it easily and you can write it easily. So that's the reason JavaScript automation tools are becoming a bit popular in the market. So that could be the Cypress or Playwright. And yeah, as I said, like the most of the features are built in Cypress. So you don't like say if you want to drag and drop, it's easier. And if you want to look at the API integration, that's easier. And say maintaining the session is much simpler in Cypress. So that's with the built-in features with the Cypress. Yeah. And faster executions and faster writing. Faster say even if you don't have much experience with the automation, if you know basics of JavaScript, if you can spend some time like learning how the Cypress works and all, you can quickly automate most of the features in Cypress, most of the test much easily in the Cypress. So that's called so the ROI in terms of writing the automation frameworks and code automation coverage is much faster in Cypress. So even if you compare like Cypress and Playwright, the Cypress is much faster to write the automation. And it's not that difficult to write in the Cypress. So if you know the basics of JavaScript, you can write Cypress automation. Okay. So you don't need to write the explicit weights in Cypress. It automatically take care of it. Network is done. E2E testing, you can do it. Component testing, I can cover it, but I just need to get an example for it. So if you have a requirement for the component testing, I can help you to automate on that particular area. But I don't have any sample application to share the component testing. If I can get some, I'll try to cover the component testing. I'm just noting it down. Someone was asking for the component testing. And record and playback is ready-made. Timeline of execution is like you can see what exactly happening at a particular line of code when it is executed. And you have built-in video recording. Of your test execution. So you can directly, Cypress automatically take care of recording your test case screen while running the automation. So built-in video recording is capturing the video is just a flag in Cypress. That's most of the Cypress features that we discussed. Before I plan for the next session, does anyone, like, how many of you know about, how many of you worked on the JavaScript? Let me go back. I'll stop sharing the screen. So I could see like there are 28 participants in the demo. How many of you worked on the, like, how many of you know the basics of JavaScript? Can you raise the hands? I did not create a poll, but can you quickly raise your hands if you have worked on the JavaScript? I could see only one so far. No one else worked on the automation, I mean the JavaScript till now? Nope, no knowledge. Okay, fine. John, you can down your hand. Okay. So how many of you worked on any other automation tool? Leave about Cypress. Any other automation tool. It could be Playwright, it could be Selenium, it could be API automation. So I could see only one hand. 2, Selenium plus BDD. Please raise your hand. You don't need to say like what are the automation that you worked on. Playwright, rest assured, Selenium. I could see like 4 hands raised till now. Okay. 5. Anyone else? Okay. So, okay. Before I start the next session and the next weekend, if I share some JavaScript tutorials, how many of you are ready to complete it? Like maybe the basics of JavaScript. How many of you have time to complete it? Okay, again 4. Okay, I could see like 5 responses for every question. So what about others? Like, do you guys don't have time to spend to learn automation or like JavaScript? Raise your hand, sir. Don't type your answers. Because like say, it could be any other sessions. It could be Playwright or Cypress. Unless until you put some effort from your end, it's very tough to learn. And it will be boring. Like say going down the line of sessions, if you don't put effort, you can't understand much, and it will be boring session. Like okay, so you won't be able to understand. You won't be able to write some automation. Okay. One last question. So how many of you would like to, I mean, will be working on Cypress immediately? Sir, lower your hands, everyone. So how many of you are like immediately starting with Cypress? Or like you are just learning for the interview purpose? I could see like 3 people again. Like what about others? You just wanted to, like you just came in for the demo? Or like will you be continuing with the sessions? Okay.
Sandeep, one question is there actually.
Yeah, Shukla.
How many hours we have to spend? Like 2 hours I can spend every time. Is it fine? Is like JavaScript obviously it's not that much easy also, right? It would take time.
Sir, basically, I cannot answer your question directly because it all depends on like what experience you have. If you have worked on any other automation, it's much easier to work on Cypress. If you don't have any automation or coding background, you need to put some effort to learn the JavaScript first and then Cypress. So
Yeah.
JavaScript or TypeScript are like mandatory to work on Cypress.
Yeah, and that's fine. Means like materials that you want to send, right?
Yep.
To us to practice. At least we know the basics, so that when you'd be taking the class, at least it would little interactive actually.
That's what I'm planning to do. Like, so I'll be sharing some JavaScript tutorials or videos to go through before I start the next session.
How many hours of that videos? How many hours of efforts that need to complete?
So basically, it won't be more than 3-4 hours overall.
That
So the
is
basics of JavaScript.
We can do
Like
in a
how?
week.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can easily do in a week, even if we put 1 hour a day.
Yeah, so what
Exactly.
I'm planning to do is like I'm planning to share how to set up the VS Code and start writing the simple JavaScript. So
sorry to interrupt. One last question.
So yeah,
While you will be sharing the material for study, I just want to confirm: will you be sharing any practice materials as well? Likewise, we have multiple platforms to practice for Java and Python. Do we have any platforms such as for JavaScript as well?
platform in terms like you
Uh,
are talking about the IDE.
No, not the ID like G4Geeks and multiple available platforms to practice Java codes. There are sample of Java interview questions available over the internet. So for JavaScript,
Sir, I'll
we have any for beginner level.
Yeah,
that's what
asking
sir.
for a playground like online playground compiler.
Like sir, that's what I'm talking. So I'll be sharing like you can install the Visual Studio, VS Code, and you can run your code on it.
If I'm not wrong, that JavaScript we can run over the browser directly, isn't it?
You can do it on the browser, sir, like, but when you start writing the Cypress, you have to
Yeah,
write it
then
in
we
the VS
require,
Code.
right?
You
Exactly. Yeah.
require Visual Studio, so it's good to start with the Visual Studio instead of like running it on the browser. Please give me how can I move to pen test? Please suggest if possible. So like that's another discussion. So let's talk only about the Cypress. Maybe we'll spare like few minutes in the end to talk about like Playwright or pen testing. Not right now. Okay, so how many of you joined only for the demo, not for the next continuations? Like I might be bad though. If I'm boring, you can leave it in between. But
You should
just
reverse the question.
no. So
And hands will be raised easily.
yeah, how many of you wants to continue with the Cypress sessions? Okay, okay. 8, 9, 10. Okay, 11. Okay. Okay, like actually 10 is a good number to start with. If I'm a bit boring or like if I'm unable to cover everything what you're required, so obviously you guys will be leaving. I mean, you will not be continuing with the Cypress session. That's a different scenario. But if things are going fine, like because you might be having, so this question is like two things. So is it possible for you to attend the 8 a.m. sessions in the morning, 8 or 8:30 sessions, a.m. sessions in the morning?
8:30 is more suitable.
8:30 IST.
Yes,
Yeah.
8:30.
Be specific. Yeah, to be specific, 8:30 IST.
So it will raise the particular hand.
No, you can just down your hand. Okay. So okay, how many of you want to quickly see how Cypress looks like and start a basic Cypress execution? Okay, so let me share my screen again.
Sandeep, in anyhow, we'd be starting with the JavaScript only, right? First.
Yep, sir.
Sandeep, will you be also along with a walkthrough with the Cypress? Will you be also helping us to install Visual Studio and run one code? Do we need any environment variables to be set up for this Cypress?
Visual Studio, is it? No,
No, Visual
Cypress.
Studio don't know. It's just an ID.
Yeah, for Cypress, if you have the Node.js, that's enough, sir.
Okay.
Node.js installed on your machine, that's enough.
NPM needed, no? I will do it.
That's what like node setup, basic node setup. I'll quickly share my screen. Give me a moment. I'm just setting up the folder. Okay, you can shoot if you have any questions in between.
Is that every session is recording?
Most of the like every session is recorded, sir. Like every session is recorded. If you are missing
What
one
would
or
be-
two in between,
What would be the duration of this course?
it will be mostly like 7 to 8 weekends. So 6 to 8 weekends, like based on 6 to 8 weekends.
Okay, that classes would be daily basis or some weekend
No,
only
it will
or
be
like
it will be over the weekend, sir.
over the weekend.
Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So just to set up a node project, this is a command npm --- init. Okay, and sorry, npm init. Yeah. So okay. npm init -y. It will create a project in Silent. Okay, I just created a Cypress demo version and all. Okay. I have a node. So node install, I'll see the node version that I have. So I have a node version of 18. Okay. So just to install the Cypress, I'll create a package.json, which is the base of any Node.js project. So I already have the package.json because I have executed npm init. So the package.json is created.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you please explain how to install Node.js also?
Sir, I'll share the documentation on it. Okay. Okay, so this will be a quick demo. So I don't want to spend time in showing that. So if you want to install, you can just go to the Node.js. This is like Node.js setup. If you have a Mac or Windows, what do you have? Like, is it a Mac or Windows?
It's Windows.
Okay. So you can just follow the first one, Node.js. I can download Node.js from the nodejs.org. Okay. So like 20 is the latest, but 18 is the most stable. So you can go with installing the 18, Node.js 18 versions. Okay. I think there is already a document on like installing the Cypress on the way to automation site, sir. Download Node.js, like you need to set up the node home, create a Cypress working folder, generate package.json, install Cypress. Okay, so I'll relook into the documentation. I'll share the documentation for in setting up the VS Code and Cypress. Okay. So to create the project, a npm init is enough. It will be creating the package.json. If you want to install the Cypress, it's npm I Cypress -- save dev. Okay, so this will be installing the Cypress and it will be saved like the npm dependency is added to the package.json. Yeah. So it will be downloading the latest Cypress. Okay. Yeah. Just wanted to see the latest 13.10. If it is taking time, we'll go with the 12 or 13, like one lower version. So you could see the like weekly downloads of Cypress. It's 5 million downloads every week. It's taking time to install it. So if you want to look out any Node.js dependencies, this is the best place, like npm.js, and you can type for any node package that you are looking for. We'll come to this like when we are starting with the Cypress. My bandwidth is like not so good. Let me try moving to some other place. If I can get a better bandwidth. Okay. Let me. It's not done. So am I audible? Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, it's my bad. I had a my internet is disconnected, so join back. Okay, yeah. Let me just open any recent project that I have in it. Give me a sec, guys. Sorry. Okay. I'll share the screen. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yep.
Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
no?
It's
Okay.
visible. Yeah.
It's visible, right? Okay. So to open the Cypress, this is a command npx cypress open. So if you're opening for the first time, you need to configure whether it's a like E2 testing or any other. So it's just opening Chrome, start your E2 testing. Okay, so you can select whether it's a standard examples that you are looking at, or like you can just simply play, select a empty play. I mean empty project. So you have some examples already. So you can just run and execute. So basically, like your automation framework will be ready the moment when you open it. So this is the folder that I just created. My E2E folder is ready. My fixtures and support is ready. and you have some examples ready to start with. So the moment you install the Cypress, your framework is ready to start with. So this is much easier. Like, do you feel like this is easier or not? Just to start with Cypress, leave about like writing the automation and all.
Yes.
So you have the skeleton of your framework is ready. Like fixers is where we maintain the test data. So your like support folders, your commands, your E2JS, and some examples are built in ready. So if I want to like say the simple like say way to automation website, just looking at some say login. Video tutorials, resources, practice site too. So let me just take this example. See, I have a registration form to fill. Okay. So if I want to start with, I'll create a new example, new file, like say way to a form.cy.js. Okay. So we'll be writing the Mocha style. We'll discuss more, but just to start with, like it will be describe some rename. Yes. Okay. Describe sample test. IT is like one test scenario. IT fill login form. Okay. So to open any URL, the command is like cy.visit. cy.visit, it will be opening the URL. So this is my registration form. I just pasted it. I have the username. So just inspect input type. Okay, ID username. So I have a ID. So cy.get hash username. Fill type say user1. So cy.get the password. So it's hash password to give the ID of it. Say password. I don't want to click, so I just wanted to run it. So cy.wait. I'll give like say 10,000 seconds or 5,000 seconds. Okay, so this is my test case. So go back, way to a farm. So it's opening the URL, user1, password. So I just feel like only two details like username and the password. Only first two fields I filled it. Okay. So this is like generally basic login form. I did not click on the login. So this is the timeline, execution timeline. So this is your test. So the first one is like visit. So it is waiting for the URL to complete. The moment you are here, the page is loaded. Okay. Once you completed this step, type user1. So your username is typed. When you type for the password, your username and password both are typed. So this is basically called the timeline, execution timeline. So you can see like at particular point in time, what happened on the browser. Okay. So this is a basic example, just wanted to show across. So this is much easier. Like say, if you are setting up with the Selenium, you need to add the dependencies, you need to start the drivers and few other stuff. But like when it comes to the Cypress, it's much easier, much straightforward automation. Any questions over here? Yes, no, maybe. No questions?
So installation and everything you will show us in next class, right?
So I'll share a document to install it. So don't start with the Cypress, start with the JS. So the next two sessions will be on the JavaScript. the next weekend, the next weekend we'll be starting with the JavaScript. So the Saturday and Sunday will be covering the JavaScript basics. I'll share a document across, like how to set up your VS Code, and I'll share some basic JavaScript videos and documents. So how to declare a variable, how to write a simple function, how to write a class. Maybe you don't need to look at the classes now. You can just need how to look. You can just read out like how to declare a variable, how to write a function. That's enough for to start with. So you're a manual tester.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Okay. I'll share the documentations, the material by tomorrow. So are you all part of the Way2 Automation Cypress group, or you're not there?
No.
No.
Sir, I have a
No.
question.
Okay, go ahead.
Can we use Eclipse for JavaScript, or do we need like a Visual Studio?
You can use Eclipse for the JavaScript, but VS Code is much easier.
Okay.
Okay. Unless until you
Thank
have a
you.
licensed version of Eclipse or IntelliJ, you can use anything like Eclipse supports, VS Code supports, and even IntelliJ supports the JavaScript. So basically, people prefer VS Code because it's open source and easier. I don't say
Okay,
Eclipse
yeah.
is not easier, but so VS Code is a standard. People
Okay, and maybe like
use
much
across.
easier than the
Yeah.
Eclipse.
Yeah, much easier than Eclipse. But if you have IntelliJ
Okay.
licensed versions, you can go ahead with that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Sandeep, I have one question regarding the browser. How we come to know which browser we are using here? So that it's by default is a Chrome, or
By default is a Chrome, sir. You can run it on any other Electron. If you want to go with the headless, you can go ahead with the Electron. Is my screen still shared, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have a Firefox on my machine, so it is not detecting the Firefox. So if you have a Edge or Firefox installed on your machines, it will detect. So I have only Chrome. So it's showing the headless, which is Electron, and a Chrome.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? So this is my Cypress config.js. If I want to record a video of it, so you can video, so like video to true. So it will record your execution. That's the only fact. So basically, like I'm changing something, so it start executing in the background. So if I want to stop, like watch file changes, watch for file changes to false. So it will stop looking at my file changes. Okay. Any other questions? We still have like 15 minutes left.
Hello,
Sorry, 20
Sandeep.
minutes. Yeah, Kumar.
Sandeep, can you show your existing projects of both web and API automation, like you have created earlier? So just for the demo purpose, first you can give how it will look like a manual. What is the test scenario, and then you can run it through the automation through the Cypress.
Okay, we can do that, sir. So basically, when I start with automation, basically I'll be sharing a URL with you. You can come up with what are the manual testing scenarios that will be executing on the website. Then we can pick few of those and start automating that. Okay. Yeah. Is that your question?
No, I mean to say, can you give the demo right now? You can just tell what is the manual test scenario, what is the this automation framework you build right now? Is it possible? Like you have the existing one?
I don't have it handy, the demo one, because I just I don't have it in this laptop.
Okay. Okay. No problem. Thank you.
I can share that. So basically when we start, I'll be sharing a URL and you can pick up like some manual test scenarios and we'll be automating only those.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, someone raised a hand. Ashutosh. Ashutosh, if you have any questions. Okay, sorry.
No, sorry, it's by mistake.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. So there is a WhatsApp group for Cypress. I'll tell you the name. Way to a batch Cypress 2003. That's where I am added to. Okay. So I'll ping the name of the WhatsApp group. Way to a Cypress. Way to a batch Cypress.
Sandeep, will you please share the invite link so that we can join?
You will be having the invites, no? Like Rahul will be sharing it across.
Okay. Right now we haven't.
Okay, so I'm sharing the WhatsApp group details here, and if you can just check with Rahul to be added to this. Like if you plan to continue with the Cypress batch, you can ask Rahul to add your details to here. Okay, instead of the mail IDs or anything else. I'll share the documentation in the same WhatsApp group. So give him some time. So I'll mostly planning to share it by tomorrow, the details. Okay. Just join in the group and I'll share the details. Like whoever is willing to continue with the Cypress, I'll share the basic details of JavaScript, how to set up the editor and how to uh, just create the variables and very basics of JavaScript. Okay, just share the WhatsApp group. So this is your WhatsApp group. W2A batch Cypress 2003. If I'm not really sure, like if Rahul is planning to create 2024 another Cypress batch group in the WhatsApp. Okay. Any other questions apart from this? Anyone have any questions? No, yes. Okay, you can raise your hand if you have any questions or needed any clarifications. We still have like 15 minutes.
So what would be more like preferable for API testing, Cypress or like with the Selenium?
No, can you please repeat the question?
What would be more preferable for API testing, API automation?
She wants to know the comparison between Rest Assured and Cypress, which is more preferable.
It's only if it is only the API automation, you can safely go with the Rest Assured. If you don't have any browser interactions, you can go with the Rest Assured.
Okay, thank you.
Or like there is a library called Axios. So you can use that if you are looking at the JS or TypeScript. There is a library called Axios. So Axios.
So instead of like Java, right? You can use JavaScript.
Yeah, if you are going with the JavaScript, you can use Axios library, Axios package, node package to write your automation framework for APIs.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yep. Any other questions before we wind it up? Okay, so like one thing from my end, I'll be using the Mac. So if you have any issues to set up on the Windows, I can help you out. But like most of the things I'll be sharing with like the material or anything, any setup things based on the Mac. I'll be sharing the links for the Windows machines as well. But if you face any issues on the Windows, maybe we'll be end of the session. I'll give some time to help you out.
Sandeep, next Cypress session when will I already know JavaScript, so I will be joining Cypress session.
Sorry for the trouble. My internet is a bit flaky today. So we had a power cut just now, so the router is rebooted. So I got disconnected. If you don't have any questions, we can wind it up for the day.
Sandeep, next Cypress session when will be? Actually,
So
I
it'll-
already know JavaScript. That's why I will join Cypress
So
session.
that's what, so we'll be starting the Cypress batch from next weekend.
Okay.
Okay. Next Saturday, Sunday, the batch will be starting.
Okay.
Okay.
Other Java class from tomorrow or next week?
So it will be the weekend batch. So the next class will be on next Saturday.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
Okay. Yep. So if you guys planning to start, please join in the WhatsApp group that I shared shared in the chat.
Actually, I cannot click or.
No, it's not a WhatsApp. Do you want the invite?
Yeah.
I can share the invite. I'm not sure I have a right to meeting invite. No, I'm not an admin to the group. The Rahul is admin to the group, so he can add you to the group. Okay, just tell him that you want to be part of the Cypress WhatsApp group. Okay. Fatima, you can speak, unmute yourself and ask if you have a question. Okay.
Sandeep, can you give me a brief about the pen test I already asked? So if possible, how we...
Sir, not right now, please.
Okay.
Okay. We'll be starting the pen testing batch in a week or two. So
Okay.
we'll have another demo session for the pen test.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Ask to unmute. Fatima, if you have any question, unmute yourself and ask. If no questions, we'll wind up. Okay, guys, thanks for your time. So I'll share the documentation with you. Try to be part of the WhatsApp group by tomorrow or day after. I'll share it by tomorrow. And if someone is not able to join by tomorrow, I'll share it again day after tomorrow. Okay, guys, have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Same to you.
Thanks.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.